Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about who the Rockets should draft with the 4th overall pick after getting the 4th overall pick today in the 2023 NBA Draft Lottery. I know a lot of Rockets fans are disappointed, but the past is the past, in my opinion. Yes, I'm still upset about it, but I'm over it. I was over it, but then I found out that we were like one ball or one pick away. Like we were like one something away. We were like really close to getting Wemby on however the draft, however they do, the balls in the machine or whatever. I don't even get how it works. But we were like really close to him on however it works. But that made me, I was over it, but then I found that out, so then I had to get over that. But I think now that I'm over, not only did I have to deal with we weren't getting Wemby, but then we weren't getting Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, because Scoot will go 2 and Brandon Miller will go 3. So, yeah. So we're going to be talking about who the Rockets should draft with the 4th overall pick. I think it's going to be a Thompson brother. Which Thompson brother, though? Amen Thompson, which both, come from the G League Ignite. Both, Amen Thompson, you can even say younger brother. They're identical twins. Look at them. You look at the picture. I can't even tell which one's which. They're everything. They're the same height, 6'7". One is taller. One weighs a little bit more. Ausar Thompson weighs 207 pounds, and then Amen Thompson weighs 202 pounds, they're really similar. But they're both 6'7", but the difference with position is Amen Thompson's a point guard / shooting guard, and Ausar Thompson is a shooting guard / small forward. Now, with the Rockets, going into this, drafting this 4th overall pick, when drafting this, whoever they're going to be drafting, it just depends on what they're wanting more, a point guard or a small forward. Because if you draft Amen, he's coming in to be a point guard, not a shooting guard. If you draft Ausar, he's coming in to be a small forward, not a shooting guard. Because I can tell you this, Jalen Green is not moving positions next year. And I personally think if you draft Amen Thompson in this year's draft, I think that will officially take away the James Harden. That James Harden that's not going to be a thing anymore. James Harden's not coming to the Rockets if you draft Amen Thompson, which I know a lot of Rockets fans who want James Harden back, but then I know a lot of Rockets fans, or read a lot of Rockets fans that don't want James Harden back. And I kind of want James Harden back. And I don't. I think I want James Harden back if we can get him for the right contract. And I think that was a good, with James Harden with his bad Game 7 performance, he's not going to get a max contract. And I think he is willing to take a pay cut for the Rockets so he can come back here and maybe they can get some other better players. And free agency or the trade market. So, we'll see, though. But, yeah. So, who should we draft? Now, because I want James Harden to come here, I'm going to have to go with Ausar. And, even if I didn't want James Harden to come to Houston, I would still say Ausar. I like Amen Thompson. He's athletic. He's a really good guard. Really good point guard as well. But I like Ausar more. He's... And also Amen, having a 6'7" point guard, that's a tall point guard right there. But Ausar, he's a hell of a 3-point shooter. He's a really good shooter. He's a really good 3-point shooter as well. And that is something the Rockets struggled with. And the Rockets kind of need a small forward. They kind of do need a small forward. Yes, Jabari can play the small forward, but if you want to view it, if you draft Amen, Amen's at the point guard, Amen Thompson's at the point guard, Jalen's at the shooting guard, Jabari's at the small. If you draft Amen, I guess you're signing a small forward or signing a power forward, and then Jabari's either the 3 or the 4, and then the 5 is Sengun. But then you draft Ausar, James Harden at point guard, Jalen Green at shooting guard, Ausar Thompson at small forward, power forward, Jabari Smith Jr., and then center is Alperen Sengun. That lineup has some size. Ausar Thompson at 6'7", Jabari Smith at 6'10", 6'11", Sengun at 6'10". So that's, it's a decent sized lineup. I don't think you're gonna get anybody bigger in the lineup. I think we've heard some stuff about maybe the Rockets being interested in Kristaps Porzingis, but I don't think that happens. Unlikely. So I think Ausar would be the best addition for us, because if Harden's coming in, Ausar Thompson is great at catch and shoot opportunities. He's a great catch and shoot shooter. And James Harden is going to, not only for Ausar Thompson if he's on the Rockets, but Ausar Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. are going to get a lot of open look, maybe a lot of open look, but a lot of good three-point attempts on the catch and shoot from James Harden passing the ball if James Harden re-signs with the Rockets. And not only for Ausar Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. getting open looks, but I think the same thing goes for Jalen Green. I don't think as much as catch and shoot opportunities Ausar Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. would be getting, but I think Jalen Green would be getting some catch and shoot opportunities, passes from James Harden as well. I think the three-point shooting would be way better with Ausar Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Jalen Green in that lineup, and then James Harden passing them the ball, and then you got Alp running the five. I think Harden and Sengun would have some good chemistry. It would remind me a little bit like Harden and Capella, but Capella was a little bit more of a lob threat. I mean, Alp's a little bit of a lob threat, but I mean, Harden and Alp are more likely to get in the pick and roll, and then Harden gives them a pass, and then Alp lays it in, most likely, or Alp does a standing dunk, which usually what James and Capella would do is it'd be the screen and alley-oop, which was a famous play with the Rockets with Harden and Capella, which is something he still does now this day with the Hawks. But I mean, I think for the Rockets, the better fit is Ausar Thompson, because you sign James Harden and you have Ausar Thompson, Jabari Smith, and Jalen Green in the lineup as catch and shooters with Harden passing the ball, who led the NBA in assists last year. I think it'd be on a different level for a team who was one of the worst three-point shooting teams last season. But as of right now, I think the Rockets, if they're going to draft a player, because there is a chance the Rockets will trade the pick. I think they're open to trading it. Do I think they'll trade it? Most likely not, but I think that's something we have to see. I think the only player the Rockets would go after I think the only player the Rockets would try to trade the 4th overall pick would be a package deal to try to get Jaylen Brown. That's the only deal I think the Rockets would try and do to get rid of that 4th overall pick, is to possibly get Jaylen Brown. But as of right now, I think Ausar Thompson should be the move for the Rockets with James Harden. With the Rockets being huge threats to get James Harden in free agency, Amen Thompson would put that bet away, and James Harden would not come here. He'd either re-sign with Philly or sign with Phoenix, because Phoenix is apparently on Harden's radar. So I think as of right now, I think the best fit is Ausar Thompson. But I mean, we got a month away. We got more than a month away. So time will go by and maybe something changes. But that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy them. Your thoughts, and peace out.